complexion, wheatish. All right. Thanks for giving me a description of the child. But I'm afraid I can't treat this as an official complaint.
Why not? I told you he's been kidnapped.
Look, I appreciate your concern for the child, but I'm sure you must have heard of children disappearing from their homes every day. Drug-related cases, just simple cases of straying away from home.
Are you joking? He's 7 years old. He doesn't know what drugs are.
Yes, I understand. But I'm not talking of Ayush in particular. You see, our statistics...
Damn your statistics! My son has been kidnapped and I need you to get him back for me.
Wait, please take it easy. Inspector, what exactly do you mean by saying you can't take an official complaint?
Look, frankly, I'm here only because I know Vinita and Ayush personally. And our legal procedures do not let us register an official complaint unless a child has been missing for a certain number of hours.
And how many hours is that?
I suggest she comes to the police station day after tomorrow and makes an official complaint. I'll see to it that I'm assigned this case.
Okay, after tomorrow, but what happens till then?
Nothing, I guess.
Look, I'm sorry. It's just that the law is being misused by so many miscreants. We have to be on our guard to make sure that every complaint is genuine.
Who safeguards my son? Who looks after him while some monster holds him out there?
Inspector, it's obvious that Mathur has kidnapped Ayush. Can't you do something, get a search warrant and we check his house or something?
Not unless an official complaint is registered. And I don't think even that would be enough to pin down Mathur. You and I may have an opinion of him, but his public image is too strong. It's too powerful.
So what you're telling me is that you're impotent. That Mathur can kidnap my son, hold him to ransom, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Look, I really have to go now. But I promise you, I'll do something on my personal front, on my own time. See what I can do about this.
Leave me alone.
We'll get him back, Vinny.
How? By magic?
I'll go and confront Ashok Mathur.
And what is that going to accomplish? I mean, he's going to tell you, yes, Shiv, I have Ayush over here. I'm sorry, please take him back.
But I've got to do something.
Don't worry. I'll manage.
And what do you plan to do?
Whatever it takes to bring my son back home. Alive and unhurt.
Are you going to talk to Ashok Mathur?
Whatever it takes.
Don't you see, Vinny? This is exactly what he wants you to do.
Look, Shiv, you've been very kind and helpful, and you've really been a friend. But now I need to deal with this my way.
But I can't just stand by and see you surrender yourself to this beast.
Who's surrendering? This is not some sort of a battle.
Not for you, Vinny, but for him it is. That's why he's kidnapped Ayush.
Look, I'm not sure that he's done it in the first place. That's why I'm going to see him. He's an influential man. He has people working for him. He won't have to wait for the day after tomorrow to make his first move.
You're going to ask Ashok Mathur for help?
What's wrong with that? I accepted your help.
But that's different. I'm your friend.
In a way, he is too.
No, he's not.
Look, Shiv, I know you're upset. When first I found Ayush missing, I thought Ashok had kidnapped him because I refused to see him and because of the scene at the restaurant. But then I gave it some thought and it didn't make sense. He wouldn't go to that extent.
I think he would. And he did.
Look, I know him too. He's a tough man, but he's not a criminal.
Vinny, don't you see? He's doing this to get you. That night when I went to see him and meet him, I discussed this and I spoke to him about...
You went to see Ashok. What for?
To talk.
Talk about what? Did you go there and create a scene, Shiv? Is that what happened? Did you tell him to stop seeing me or something like that?
Look, I was angry. I don't like the way he treats you, like a gang lord. I had to do something.
Why are you my husband, my father, my brother? Why do you have to be so protective about me?
Nidhi, I'm just trying to help you.
All you men are the same. You want something, you're protective. You have it, you lose interest.
It's not so with me, Vidhi. You know me.
Any case, what happened?
Well, I'm not too sure.
You're not sure? What do you mean you're not sure?
I had had one too many and I was a little charged.
You were drunk? You went to see Ashok drunk and angry? What did you say, Shiv?
I just asked him to stay away from you.
Like I'm some girlfriend of yours? And you think a man like Ashok likes to be spoken to in that way? Drunk? How could you do this, Shiv?
I'm sorry.
That's why you were so convinced that Ashok has kidnapped Ayush. Because of all the awful things that you said to him, Ashok has kidnapped Ayush in retaliation. Is that it?
Yes.
I thought you were a friend.
It's about time.
Oh, yeah? Well, you should try transporting an unconscious little kidnapped child through rush hour traffic someday. At one point, he started to wake up and I had to use more chloroform.
I hope you didn't use too much of it.
Mr. Mathur, chemicals are the tools of my trade. I know them better than I know people. He's gonna sleep like a baby all night. He's gonna wake up in the morning.
Good. Now here's what I want you to do. You take the boy home with you and keep him there. And I'll tell you what to do next, okay?
Whoa, whoa, just a moment, please. Did you say my home? My house? That was not part of the bargain, Mr. Mathur.
Neither was keeping him here.
This is the only convenient place.
Not for me.
I cannot take him home. My neighbors know I live alone. I can't explain a little kid to them. Especially when his photo starts to appear in the papers and he starts to cry all day for his mama and papa.
And how do you suppose I'll keep him here? The boy must leave. And now.
ठीक है. I will hole up in my laboratory for a few days. But just this once. Mr. Mathur, this is the first and the last time I do such a thing for you. I'm a professional, not a babysitter.
You will be anything I want you to be. Don't forget, if it wasn't for me, you still would be rotting in that prison, being tried for Vihang Patil murder.
Oh, how can I forget that, Mr. Mathur? You know, you are never going to let me forget it.
Just making sure your loyalty is not in question again.
Loyalty. My loyalty was never in question, Mr. Mathur.
I'm not sure about that, Abhimanyu. Remember, I was the one who hired you. You had no reason working for my wife.
On the contrary, Mr. Mouthful. Because you'd hired me, I assumed I had all the reason to work for your wife too.
Abhimanyu, I wonder about you sometimes.
Mr. Mathur, during my entire career, my loyalty has never been called into question. If you have any doubts about it...
You just finished this job without bungling it up and we'll never bring your loyalty in question again.
This job? Kidnapping this little kid? You know what? I can do one better. I will kill this kid here right now. You know, I can just snap his neck in two. Right in front of your eyes. That should convince you that once I pledge my word and my loyalty to somebody, I never commit Gaddafi. Just say the word, Mr. Mathur, and he's dead.
এসো 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 বসো আরে সোমো বন্ধু bring pan for Bhavan.
That's all right. I'm not much of a pan eater.
Rubbish. You have come to Dineshar and not going to have our pan. That's impossible. Where have these people gone? Somo.
Thank you.
Madhulika is very angry with you.
Yes, sir. I believe so.
But before you came, she was angry because you were not here for so many years. Even now, she is angry. I don't know. I mean, did you say something to her?
I suppose so.
You believe so. You suppose so. কি ব্যাপারটা কি? বাংলা সাদা বাংলায় বলো দেখি কি হয়েছে কি?
আমার, how do I say this? আমার বাংলা রাস্টি আছে।
Pavan, are you going to hold that pan throughout the whole night in your hand like this?
Oh, actually,
Madhulika will be more angry. She had specially prepared these pans for you. Okay?
in that case.
এই তো এতক্ষণে অরিন্দম Now at last you have tasted real Dineshar.
এই পানটা কিন্তু বেশ ভালো।
শুধু ভালো না, দারুণ।
Who's that? Was that a gunshot?
শালা, ওই ঘোষ।
Wasn't Ghosh the zamindar who owned all the property on the eastern side of our Haveli?
Yes.
He had a son who was the same age as Madhulika and I.
It is the son only. The father died years ago. If old Ghoshba would have been alive today, do you think this kind of atrocity and injustice could have been happening here?
What atrocity? What injustice? Bashida, Madhulika was alluding to the same thing a little while earlier, but she just wouldn't explain herself. Tell me, is there some sort of situation happening here?
What are you asking for?
I'm just curious, that's all.
What are you then? A journalist? At a khabar kagojwala? What use your curiosities to us? Tell me.
But I still have very strong links with all of you, Bashida. I grew up here. All I want to know is there a problem in Dineshar?
Of course there are problems. Huge problems, Pavan. Huge problems. People are suffering, dying. Homes are being burned. Crimes committed every day. Even now, as we are chewing pan here, the crimes are being committed here, all around.
This used to be such a peaceful little township from what I remember.
You remember, your remembering things are past dated, you see. Out of date. Times have changed, Pavan. And in Dineshar, they have changed for the worse.
But what is it? Is it gambling? Is it drinks? Has any criminal element entered the society here?
Entered. The criminal element is here, in our own houses, homes.
I don't understand.
How will you understand? You are a big NRI lawyer, come back from Canada, and going to open up a huge practice in Bombay. Isn't that so?
Yes, but
And only after your Dadu left Dineshar as a legacy, you started remembering it and taking some interest in it.
yes, but all throughout, I've never once stopped thinking about coming back.
But even then, if I had not gone to Delhi to beg you to come to Dineshar, I'm sure you would not ever come back here, right?
I suppose so.
So, then, what is the use of telling you anything at all?
Basudha, now that I've inherited this property, I am responsible for it.
Responsible? How can you be responsible of something you do not know, Babon? What do you know of our town today? You have old, out-of-date childhood memories. Do you know anything of Dineshar today, what's happening here today? How we are suffering? You have no idea of those things at all.
And so if you could tell me, then perhaps I could help.
Hari Babon, why do you think I have asked you to come here? Not only to meet Madhuleka, though she was immensely missing you, but I wanted you to see Dineshar today and try to be with us, try to solve our problems, whatever you can do.
And I'm sure I could.
But Madhuleka told me what you said, that you cannot stay long. You cannot stay more than 2 days.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
I have to go back to Bombay. I have some commitments with my friends.
Go back to Bombay. Go away today, tomorrow, or after 2 days, whenever. Go away and go happily and live there happily as you had lived all these years. But never ever ask me about Dineshar. You have, see, Dineshar I don't think is a tourist spot, but you can just look at it and then whenever you don't feel like, you can forget about it. If you cannot live here amongst us as one of us, then you have no right to share our sorrows or our joys. Whatever we have, please go back to Bombay. Shubhratri.
Oh yes, there are ways to handle him. Ashok isn't as indestructible as he'd like to pretend he is. Of course I can take care of him. Well, that's the whole point, isn't it?
Tanaz, have you seen my file anyway?
One sec.
Sorry.
Yes, I think we'll make a great team together. I'm looking forward to working with you too. Well, money is the thing, but you know, if we remember that, I think we'll be making some beautiful music together. How does tomorrow sound? Tennis is great. We'll see you then. Bye.
Who was that?
Oh, a prospective client.
At this time of the night?
Aakash, it's the 90s. Business never sleeps.
What's his name?
You're looking for your file?
Yeah.
Ah, here it is.
Thanks. I see you made some notes.
Yeah, in pencil, only in the margins. I can rub them off if you like.
No, it's okay. They look like production estimates.
I'm the producer, remember? Now let's move this party into the bedroom.
Tanaz, do you think this is really such a good idea?
What, sleeping in the bedroom?
No, you producing my play.
I think it's a great idea. Now let's get some shut-eye because we've got a very important meeting tomorrow morning.
First, I've got to ask you something.
Am I in the mood? Yes.
No, about the play. It's a big production.
Big spender, big grocer.
And it's a lot of money. I know you don't have that kind of money just lying around.
Look, I'll find the sponsors. Now, can't we talk about that in the morning?
Then our sponsors come in much later. And they're not even going to fund the whole project. Maybe not even half of it.
Look, I told you. I'll leave that up to me. And leave your pretty head working on those spectacular musical numbers.
Where are you going to get the money from, Tanaz?
Oh, I told you I'll manage it.
From where? Or maybe I should ask from whom?
What is that supposed to mean?
I mean, this person you're speaking to right now, this prospective client, he wouldn't happen to be a certain Mr. A.G. Mathur, would he?
You think I would ask Ashok for money?
Well, you're married to him. At least legally.
Look,
And you have asked him for money before.
that was then. This is now. I'm not looking for any handouts, and I'm not accepting any either.
Maybe not directly. But from somebody within the organization? You wouldn't be using your stake in the BMR group to wangle some finance, would you?
I told you, I don't want to go down when Ashok does with his dirty dealings. And believe me, he's going to go down.
I know that. But I also know how difficult it must be for you to let go of all that money.
I resent that. I'm not some spoilt or pampered little Barbie doll. I've worked for a living and you know that.
I know that. I'm just asking about the play. How are you going to raise so much money?
That's business. It's my business. You know the term. Now give me some credit for God's sake.
I know, I'm sorry. Please, forgive me.
Then stop badgering me.
Look, I just don't want you to be tempted to go back to Ashok to ask for money or anything.
Aakash, you really annoy me sometimes.
It's only natural that I'll be concerned.
Well, then how come I'm not worried about you going to Vinita or Varsha for money?
But that's ridiculous.
Well, so is going to Ashok.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that.
Will you promise me one thing, then?
What?
Stick to producing your songs and dances and let me worry about the numbers crunching game, okay?
So I worry about these numbers, and you worry about those numbers, right?
Oh, man.